Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Sam from Historic Travels with just a real quick mini video for all of you guys today. Now, real quick guys, before we begin the video, I just wanted to let you guys know, sorry about the weird echo effect you guys are hearing with the audio right now. It's just a result of where I currently am and there's not much I can do about it for this video, so just sorry about that. But anyway, the point of this video is to tell you guys about one of the coolest things that I saw when I went to Japan a couple of weeks ago. And to be quite honest with you guys, it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I'm not just gonna limit it to Japan. You see, while I was there, I became aware of this museum called the TeamLabs Museum. And basically what this museum is it's an art museum, but it's not art, that was created with the traditional sense, like paintings and such. What this art museum is it takes creativity and mixes it with electricity and electronics and stuff like that. And what they did was they created these exhibits within the museum that are designed to basically, the best way I can describe it is you experience it with all of your senses. So sight, touch, sound, and it's quite literally one of the coolest things I have ever seen. And if I tried to describe it to you, you really wouldn't get I can't describe it. It's not something I can describe. However, the team over there that ran the museum was kind enough to let me film as I was walking through the museum. So I can show you guys some of the stuff that I was seeing, and then I can try to explain it to you guys the best that I can. And this video should give you an idea of what the museum is all about. However, just so you guys know, this video is in no way a substitute for going to the museum yourself. If you're ever in Tokyo, you owe it to yourself to go and check out this museum. It's quite literally one of the most amazing things ever. Okay guys, well hey, with the intro out of the way, let's now begin the video. Now when you first get to the museum, one of the first things that the staff there will ask you to do is to remove your shoes and socks because you will need to be barefoot to experience the museum. And I would also recommend that you wear shorts when you go and not blue jeans like I did, because wearing blue jeans did turn out to be a little bit of a problem for me as I continued to explore the museum. Now that long hallway you all just saw was the first exhibit of the museum. It just didn't look like it yet. But as you're walking down this long dark hallway, this music slowly starts to build up all around you. And then you also slowly notice the sound of water is getting louder and louder the further along the hallway you go. And then, well, you know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm just gonna let you guys watch the clip and experience for yourself what I saw. Wasn't that cool? And blue jeans were definitely the wrong type of pants to be wearing as I went through that museum. But hey, it was Tokyo, I was there in winter and it was cold outside, so that's why I was wearing them. But anyway, after I got through that whole water hallway thing, I went through a couple of more exhibits. But the next big one of note was a room that I like to call the Lightroom. And basically what this room was there were LED lights hung up everywhere. And the room basically, it's like they used all of these lights to create this overwhelming light show that spread out throughout your entire field of vision. And if you looked around, it surrounded you. It was literally one of the most incredible things I'd ever saw. Take a look. So yeah, as you can see, that was pretty unbelievable. That was one of the coolest things I had seen in that museum up to that point. Now, after I left that Lightroom, the next room I went into was probably my favorite throughout the entire museum. As I was approaching the next room, the staff there told me that I needed to pull my pants up to my knees, and trust me, it's a good thing that I did. As I passed them, I noticed that the room I was walking into had a great deal of water in it, and the water came up to very close to my knees. A little bit lower than that, but still kind of high up. And then as I walked into this room, I saw that this entire room was one giant koi pond. And there were all these koi fish swimming around in the water below me. But then it took me a second to realize it, but these fish, they weren't real. They were holograms being projected into the water by projectors up in the ceiling. And then the fish would react to you. They would try to swim away from you. And if you touched one, they would change into all of these colors. I mean, it was quite literally one of the most amazing things I'd ever seen. Take a look. So yeah, as you can see, that is absolutely mind-blowing. And as I said at the beginning of this video, watching this video doesn't give it justice. You definitely have to go and experience it for yourself. After I left the koi pond, the next room I went into is a room that I like to call the bubble room. It was definitely a unique room, and it was definitely a cool thing to see. That's the room you guys saw in the thumbnail for this video. But it basically just had these giant bubble things everywhere, and they changed colors and everything. I mean, it was really cool. It was almost like being inside of a dream or something. It was weird. It was a really weird thing. It was cool, but it was definitely different. Take a look. So yeah, definitely very different. Now, after I left the bubble room, the next room I went into was it was almost as cool as the koi pond. And honestly, I'm sure to some people it will probably be cooler than the koi pond. I really like the koi pond. But the next room I went into, I call it the flower dream room because as soon as I walked into the room, the staff there told me to lay down on the ground and look straight up. And when I did, my vision was completely surrounded by all these flowers that were flying everywhere. And then the more I focused on the flowers that were above me, it's almost like the flowers had maybe a hypnotic thing to them, because I felt like the ground had literally melted away and I was literally falling into a field of flowers, or falling into a big cloud of flowers. That's probably the better way to say it. But anyway, here, check it out. Now, as I laid there looking up at all the flowers, I think I was in that room probably a good 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, it was literally like time had just melted away and I was just continuously falling in these flowers. I mean, it was literally unbelievable. Anyway, after I left that room, there were several more really cool exhibits that I saw, but they didn't really compare to the rooms I had saw earlier. And I would talk about them, but this video is already getting longer than I intended. But overall, guys, look, if you're in Tokyo, you owe it to yourself to check out this museum. The people who made this museum are literally geniuses. I don't know how they came up with this. But yeah, guys, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video talking about the TeamLabs Museum. If you did like it, please be sure you leave it a like. And if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys, it really helps out a lot. And thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are awesome. Y'all take care, and I'll see you in the next one.